Today's country, Froggy 92.9. Hey, we are Amber and Tanner in the morning.
And we are here with Ben Fine and Tracey Shepos from Jackson Family Wines. We're doing a virtual wine tasting as well as food tasting.
Yeah, thanks for having us for round two, and glad I heard you didn't have breakfast yet, Tanner. We hope, going forward on Thursdays, don't eat too much until you hang out with Tracey.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And again, we have this delivered to our studio, and people in Napa and Sonoma County, really all over the country, can have wine delivered to them. Food is just in Napa and Sonoma County, but where could we get these materials?
Well, we've got this great opportunity. It's called Your Wine Store. So you just go to yourwinestore.com, and exactly, Tanner, you can go and get within Napa and Sonoma counties, 60 miles of the Kendall Jackson Wine Center. It's free delivery. So you have no excuses for not getting delicious wine delivered right to your door. And then all over the country, it's a flat rate, right, Ben, of $15 per case?
Correct.
Yeah. So it's really not even just for people local to us. It's really all over that has the opportunity to try so many of these great brands of wine.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, what is it that you each do with Jackson Family Wines?
As a wine educator, I get to do a few different things. One thing is I get to help produce educational content. So believe it or not, I know this just seems like we're having fun and drinking and eating, but something like this is quite educational for a lot of people who want to learn about wine and food. So I get to write content or do vids like this with our chef. And then I also get to spend time with our extended family, our business partners. So, I gave the example last time, Tanner and Amber, once our winery is open again, you guys have to come check us out, and I'll be the one to take you around and do a lot of educating and tasting with you. So that's a big aspect of what I do.
Great.
Can't wait.
I think Ben is downplaying this. We get to have a lot of fun, and we eat and drink. There's no lie in that. That's a big part of our job. So go ahead, be jealous, because
We are.
Get to eat great food and drink great wine. I mean, it's one of the perks for working for such a great, a company that has so many great wineries. And so that's the point of Your Wine Store, is that we want to share that with other people, that they get to have some of those same perks that we do as well. But my job is I am the chef de cuisine for Jackson Family Wines, and I'm the cheese specialist. So I get to create wine and food pairings that really, enhance the wine, really focus on seasonal food, and just really great, fresh, clean cooking that is just meant to be paired with delicious wines.
Sounds like a fantastic job that I couldn't do, but would really want to do. Eat great food and drink wine.
After enough wine homework, I think you would be just fine.
I was talking to my girlfriend about, our wine tasting, and I was like, what Tracey does is she balances that palate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, as a chef for a winery, we look at it in such a different way. Instead of starting with the food, we start with the wine, which is quite the opposite of when you're a chef in a traditional setting, like a restaurant. And so, really the goal is highlight the wine, right? To make it, to not mess with it, and to make it taste good. So, that's the goal. That's what we do. And nor should we want to change that wine. We want to really enhance those beautiful flavors that all of our winemakers are creating. So,
right.
What do you have for us today?
So we have Chef Tracey has prepared one of her classic dishes out of her and her culinary team's award-winning cookbook, Seasons, a beautiful asparagus dish. And we have a few wines for you to pair with that. And Tracey, you're at Kendall Jackson right now, aren't you?
I actually am. You can tell by the beautiful setting. This is not a screenshot. This is actually real behind me. I am at Kendall Jackson right now, and I'm sitting in the garden, and it's like, this is my happy place.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, Tanner, listening to what you said, going back and talking with your girlfriend, it's funny because this is what we do. Tracey provides the education, I provide the liquid confidence, and then you go home and you're talking with your loved ones. And where Tracey is right now, we have a sensory garden, which I think maybe we'll try to bring to you guys at some point. But imagine, instead of having to listen to me, for example, you're going to have a Sauvignon Blanc today. We grow the same sort of aromas and flavors you would find in Sauvignon Blanc. We grow these sort of things through fruits, veggies, flowers, and you can taste and smell for yourself. So, I mean, spend a day out there, Tanner, and you'll be annoying your girlfriend or educating her all day with your knowledge, right?
I'm really excited too because my office just smells like flaming hot Cheetos.
I'm sure we have a wine that pairs well with that.
Oh, you do?
That's what I told him today.
That's tough. Yeah.
Have you ever tried Riesling with flaming hot Cheetos?
I like
You
it.
think
I
I'm
probably
joking, but I
have.
think you should try it.
I think I'm gonna have to try it.
Do we want to? Do you want to get into the food first, Trace, and then we'll try with each wine?
Well, it's actually meant to be paired with the Chardonnay. You want to tell them about the Chardonnay real quick, Ben, and then we'll talk about the dish, and then we can get into the other wines too.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys are going to start with the Freemark Abbey Chardonnay.
Got it right here.
Okay.
Is that the Chardonnay, Tanner?
Yep, I wrote it down.
Okay, I'm just looking at the lighting and the color of the two. I'm like, they look different. All right, fantastic.
He did pour mine. Okay, wait. This is the other white one that I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
So this is the Chardonnay.
So we are talking about one of Napa Valley's first 15 wineries. This is a winery that goes back to 1886.
Wow.
And yeah, exactly. When we talk wineries, 19th century in California, that's talking like 5,000 years ago for like chateaus and Europe, right? Because it was a little newer here in the United States. So this is like a very classic winery. And the winemaker, Ted Edwards, there isn't a longer tenured winemaker for one winery in Napa than Ted. So he knows what he's doing. His accolades reflect that. He scores 95 to close to 100 year after year. And it's him and now Christy Melton, who's a winemaker we've worked with for a long time, is sort of the take his reins. He helped build it. He built his house with his wife out in Tahoe. He wants to spend a little more time up there. So classic winery, incredible winemaker. And it looks like you're enjoying that Chardonnay. This might not be like the Chardonnay we had last time. The big difference is this wine doesn't go through what we call secondary fermentation or malolactic fermentation. So a lot of that what some would say maybe creamy or textural mouthfeel isn't happening through this fermentation, but you still get it with this wine.
Yeah.
They just do it through different techniques of winemaking. But what's great is by not doing this, you get a lot of those green and yellow citrus and tropical fruit notes. So it's not the biggest Chardonnay, but it can stand up to a lot of food, but it's great on its own, as I can see you're enjoying right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I definitely taste some citrus, and I don't have the greatest palate ever, but it definitely tastes like someone like grated some lime zest in there, and it's very like acidic rather than the last Chardonnay we had.
You nailed it, and that's the big difference. When you talk Napa Chardonnay, what you just described is not classic descriptions, but I think you nailed it on the head, and that's Ted's unique winemaking style, and that's what's great about it, because it's a Chardonnay that we've seen pair with big dishes, but if it's hot and you want to be outside, those citrus notes, those really, that lime, that zest is really what you want. So it's a really broad, flexible Chardonnay.
Drinking this, I want to go outside immediately.
Yeah. I changed my view so I could look in my backyard for this.
We can escape.
Why I'm here in the garden.
You're lucky.
Yeah. So the dish that we sent over for you guys is a roasted asparagus salad. And like Ben said, this is from our cookbook season, but more importantly, one of the things we're sending out when you order wine from your wine store is we are sending out some recipes with your delivery, because we know everyone's at home cooking right now. And when you're cooking more than normal, I think that you are probably, even as a chef, like I've started cooking some new things, because you kind of get bored when you're cooking 3 meals a day. You get bored with all the same things that you're typically cooking. And so we thought this would be a great addition to people that are ordering wine, is to get a couple recipes that we've created as chefs. They're really simple recipes. These are not chefy recipes. These are straightforward. These are simple recipes to encourage people to maybe try cooking a few new items, but also, just cooking some things that are going to taste delicious with the wines that they're ordering. And so this is one of those recipes. It's a roasted asparagus salad with smoked almonds and green olives. So it's kind of like a pesto that's on that asparagus, and it's springtime, right? And so I don't know about you, but like what I'm craving is all those spring vegetables and herbs, and asparagus is my favorite things to eat in the springtime, and especially with Chardonnay. So when you roast that asparagus lightly, it brings out the sweetness. It kind of cuts through a little bit of the green of the asparagus flavor. And then that pesto has, they're called Castelvolturno olives. So they're less salty, and they're a little bit more like, what you get from them is a little bit more of the brine and an acidic flavor, as well as a little bit of Point Reyes Toma, that cheese you guys tried last week that we love from Point Reyes out by the coast, and then smoked almonds. So all this is in the pesto. The other thing that's in this pesto, which is really fun, is nasturtium leaves. If you don't have nasturtium leaves, you can just use arugula. But when I walk through my neighborhood every day, nasturtiums are growing wild everywhere right now. They're these beautiful, like those orange, yellow. They almost, I don't know how to describe them. The leaves almost look like lily pads.
Yeah.
It kind of look like ginkgos. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. The leaves kind of look like, or the petals kind of look like ginkgo. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We put some in there for you. So anyway, this is just a great dish with this Chardonnay for exactly what you were saying, Amber, that this Chardonnay has this really nice acidity. So it plays up the olives a little bit, but then you get some of the cheese, which adds a little bit of decadence on your palate, which is nice. And then the smoked almonds, you'd think they are a pretty bold flavor. It's just a few in this dish. And so what it does, it just kind of brings out a little bit of oak in the wine. So I love this pairing. This dish, you can make this dish in 10 minutes. Yeah. So this is awesome. Like I was saying earlier, if you put a poached egg on top of this is a great lunch. This is a great addition to grilled chicken. So, I know a lot of people are doing things like grilling outside. It's beautiful out, right? All the things that we're doing in our own homes right now. So just really easy spring dish. And this Chardonnay is just so delicious with this dish.
This dish with the Chardonnay is like a perfect Saturday afternoon. Sitting on my porch, looking out in Sonoma County. I mean, you have everything you want. And the thing that I especially love about it is the roasted almonds. Normally, I wouldn't think of roasted almonds with a dish like this, but it adds a really nice texture to the bite.
Yeah, a good little crunch. And I'm a big fan of olives. Love the olives. And I've never had this olive before. And I love, like you said, the brininess. And I think like olives in general, I feel like pair well with wine, specifically this Chardonnay, which I never would have thought.
It's a bit of a buttery olive. It's
creamy. It's
olive.
milky.
So it is. It's almost like it's got a little bit of a richness to it as opposed to us really salty. So again, just with this Chardonnay. So if you guys order this Chardonnay at yourwinestore.com, you will get this recipe too. So, and I think the recipe maybe has like 8 ingredients total. So, and all very easily accessible at your grocery store.
And so many people are trying to eat healthy right now, but they're eating the same healthy thing over and over and over and over again. I mean, how many times can you make a mixed berry smoothie?
Tanner, it's every day.
So this is a fun way to kind of spice it up.
But I think that's a great point, Tanner. Like we were saying, we're all and we're all kind of trying, hopefully in being inspired a little bit to try some new things, try some new wines. And so this is a great way to do that. Get a new recipe, try a wine you haven't tried before.
I think you nailed it. And anyone can put together a wine and food pairing. You can jump on Google, and there's classic traditional pairings, but I think with the time, like you said, you want something new. So why not experiment with different wine and food pairings? And when Tracey and I spoke and she told me she wanted to prepare this for you because it's so good and fresh and being spring, and I thought, perfect. And the funny thing is, asparagus is classically is like one of wine's arch nemesis in terms of pairing. It has a compound to it, which makes it tough. It has this green, grassy, vegetal aspect, which doesn't usually complement the wine unless you do it right. But I mean, we are totally up about breaking boundaries, trying new things. So, and what is
it? Anarchy. We did it, right? You tell us we can't do it, we're gonna do it.
We're doing it.
Anarchy.
And so,
it's fantastic.
I love hearing that pairing worked. I think this is the perfect Chardonnay. We made sure it was available on your wine store. It is, and I think it's perfect because those green. I mean, you guys did the work for us. Amber, what you talked about with the fruit notes, the green really helps with the asparagus. And then Tanner, you mentioned the roasted with the almonds, the nuts. Exactly. It brings out the oak, right? And so it really helps each other. So, screw what the pundits say. And we have other wines that I think could also work. And hopefully you haven't eaten everything.
No.
Okay, perfect.
Pretty close.
Let's go to the Sauvignon Blanc now and see how this goes. This is from a winery of ours called Capture. It's one of our it's been around, I think since 2008, but it's not as well known maybe as like the La Crema or the Freemark Abbey that have these, been really well known for a long time. And Capture focuses on a couple wines, but mainly Sauvignon Blanc. The winemaker, Sam, is from Australia. He lives up here, a good friend of mine. Shout out, Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Sam.
I got to give him a shout out because I love his wine, especially the Sauvignon Blanc. right? I mean, talk about being outside, Tanner. This is the one. And we talked about citrus and acid, but now it should really be shining through. Are you guys maybe salivating a little, mouth-watering?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a very classic California style. I know when I talked to Sam about how he wants to make his Sauvignon Blancs, he wants those classic, fresh, clean, in-your-face, bright fruit characteristics. I think a lot of like stone fruit, something with a, you know, a big pit, like a white peach.
Yeah.
So hopefully
it's like kind of sour-ish. So what would that be? Like maybe a green apple or something?
nailed it. Granny Smith.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Dang!
like,
You're so good at this, Amber.
Mhm.
I eat a lot. That's why.
And that's the best thing. It's not that the fruit, it's fresh fruit, but it's sour, it's tart, and we love that, right? I love Sauvignon Blancs, especially in this weather. Why don't you try it with the dish and talk us through it? And I'm sure Trace will be able to jump in and talk about what you're experiencing on your palate.
All right.
I mean, this is, to me, like, this is what a Sauvignon Blanc is supposed to taste like. There's no better representation of a Sauvignon Blanc than this Capture Sauvignon Blanc. And I agree with you, Ben. Like, this is that wine that I want to drink. This wine, I want to drink it all the time, but I definitely want to drink it like even at the beginning of a meal or while I'm cooking. This is a great wine, like as I'm cooking, because this is this is an amuse-bouche without there being any food. It teases your palate in such a great way and makes your mouth water, and is just so, like, it gets your palate ready for whatever's next. If it's something that pairs with it, great. Or if you're moving on to something else, it's fine, because it just leaves you salivating, wanting more.
Yeah. I might be wrong here, but would this go with a lot of different varieties of food? Because I feel like it, you know, I feel like you can eat anything with this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think that this is, you know, when we talked about wine pairings with food, and we talked about this a little bit last week, like a lot of times you staying in the same lane is smart. So something like a Sauvignon Blanc with that is such high acid, having a dish with high acid. So think things like grapefruit is great, and like citrus is great with Sauvignon Blanc. English peas, like this time of year, fresh peas are amazing with Sauvignon Blanc. And like an avocado citrus salad is really good, because the avocado, you know, is kind of lush. It's got a little bit of a creaminess to it, so it adds something else, but when you still have that citrus with it. So yeah, I mean, this is a really great wine for things like really bright salads, and or like seafood, like a ceviche, or like a fish. White fish is great with Sauvignon, things that could go well with this wine. Or you just drink this wine with this wine.
And you know, I say, oh, asparagus is tough to pair with, and Tanner, you say, I feel like this could pair with a lot of different varietals.
Yeah.
You want to know why? The reason you're right, because you like the dish, right? And that goes back, I think Tracy said this last time, if you like what's in front of you, and that's what it really comes down to. If you're enjoying both the wine that you have and the food, that's a great pairing, right? It doesn't have to match up, right?
Yeah.
You like it when you bite it, you like it when you drink it. It's a great. So I love that, showing a classic, you know, tough to pair dish, and you guys are like, let's see what else it pairs with.
Yeah.
So that's great.
So what do you guys think of it with this dish? Because it's probably going to taste different than the Chardonnay did, but hopefully it tastes good in a different way.
Absolutely. I think drinking this, I think it made me almost more able to take it more, if that makes any sense, just because it brings your mouth to water a little bit more. So you almost crave the food a little bit more, where some wines I feel like they can sit by themselves a little bit better. But this is just great to go with food, because it's just, you can pass off so easily.
Yeah.
I feel like I can taste more of, like, I don't know how to say this, but like the greenness of the asparagus. Like you can just taste more of that, like, vegetable type taste that, you know, kids normally hate, but like as adults we love it.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, fresh asparagus, fresh green pepper, you know, bright crunch.
Yeah.
It's like,
the Chardonnay brought out the sweetness in the dish, and this brought more of the greens in the dish.
Yeah. So again, we would love, like, if you guys go onto yourwinestore.com, check out this Sauvignon Blanc. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Capture Sauvignon Blanc. It is just so good. And like Ben said too, it is perfect for this kind of weather when it's warm out. And, you know, I mean, we talk about rosé all the time with warm weather, and don't get me wrong, I'm going to drink rosé too, but this Capture is just like, this is a really, really special wine, and just so delicious and really great and refreshing on a warm day.
Absolutely.
And I should mention, this is all coming sort of my common mountain range north of here through Alexander Valley and even up to Lake County, 100% Sauvignon Blanc, high elevation. So when you grow this fruit at high elevation, there's not anything protecting it from wind, sun. These grapes are really working hard. So, these are really, premium grapes. It's really tough to grow Sauvignon Blanc on mountains. So we are growing some of the highest outside of the Andes, where it's like 13,000 feet, Sauvignon Blanc's growing. In terms of North America, we are growing some of the highest elevated Sauvignon Blanc, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you have a little bit more, we're really going to go for it here. We have you've had a couple white wines. Let's get you into a Cabernet Sauvignon now.
Woo! Woo! Tanner likes his cabs, huh?
I do.
Okay.
This is the breakfast of champions.
And we are champions.
Yeah.
There's that liquid confidence. Now, I believe you have is it the Sonoma Valley? Do you have the bottle in front of you? I went on your wine store. I wanted to confirm.
Let me grab it real quick.
Sorry.
It smells like chocolate cherries.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Did
So
I know?
You are, Amber, you are a ringer here. Okay, by the way, P.S., you said last week you just moved here and you're like, I haven't been able to drink. You are doing a good job at drinking wine at home, girl, because you've got this down.
yeah, you're super. I think you have the gene.
Yeah.
The gene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't quite
Cool.
have the gene. I'm working on it. I just
He's
like
wearing jeans.
Keep on working on it. That's the fun part, is working
Yeah.
on it. Just
Yeah.
keep on drinking wine.
So Tanner, you said you like Cabernet Sauvignons. Are a lot of the cabs that you drink from Napa?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay. And that's very common here, right? Napa is on the world's map and has been for a long time for cabs, Merlots, Chardonnays, amongst many other things. And there's a big reason the Cabernet that you can grow in Napa can age for 10, 15, 20, 25 years and be incredible. And it's this really classic Napa style where you can't find cabs like this anywhere else. And for example, Freemark Abbey, whose Chardonnay you just had, they do Napa cabs. This is actually a Sonoma County Cabernet Sauvignon. And I'm so happy that we can showcase it because Arrowwood is this sort of darling winery that I think people in California know about. They know Richard Arrowwood. He's really a pioneer in terms of grape growing, but in the world of Cabernets, I think it goes under the radar sometimes because it's a Sonoma County Cabernet, which usually we think with Sonoma County Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. But I love it because there's some big differences. First off, you don't have to age this sucker, right? You can, and it's very age-worthy, but it's a little more, it's easy to drink young. You don't need the tannins to soften. There's still tannin, but you're talking more elegant, more red fruit compared to those darker fruit notes. So you said it, cherry, black cherry, some chocolate, some clove. So it's cab, but it's a little lighter than maybe the Cabernet Sauvignon style you're used to, Tanner. I don't know. What do you think?
It is a lot lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I prefer this as opposed to those heavier.
Especially at this time of the day.
Right. Well, and it's
time and place for everything. Yeah.
Well, listen, we have no judgment on what time people are drinking at this point. There's no such thing as time or days or so it doesn't matter. It's like we're all in an airport. It just none of it matters. That's how I feel. Like I'm in an airport constantly. Like it doesn't matter what time it is. All right, bring it on.
Yeah.
I can see myself drinking this like a girls' night, maybe alone time with Amber, eating some dark chocolate, watching some rom-coms, drinking this wine. I mean,
sounds like
sounds like your Saturday night. Is that what you said?
I said sounds like a party.
Yeah. Yeah, well, hey, your wine store, this wine is offered. We'll deliver it to you, right? If you live in Sonoma or Napa, we'll deliver it to you for free, or you can swing by Kendall Jackson Wine Estate and Gardens where Tracey is and pick it up. And eventually you can come visit us. If you're heading out to Kenwood, it's in Glen Ellen, Arrowwood Estate, and it's this beautiful wraparound deck. You just look at the mountain.
It's such a special place. It's just really, it's a small kind of, quaint space, and it's but it's beautiful, that wraparound deck, and you go and you can wine taste on the deck and overlook the valley a little bit. So yeah, it's one of those places you could easily kind of drive by and miss, but you should really, if you come to the area, definitely seek this winery out because it's really special.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. Is there anything you want to add or talk about while we're here?
No, we just want to remind everybody to, check out yourwinestore.com. It's really easy. You can go check it out. It's broken down by winery or by varietal. There's lots of your favorites. There's lots of new things for you to try. So please go check it out. And we just hope everybody's staying safe and healthy and drinking lots of wine.
I know it's early in the morning, but this one's staying with me all day.
There you go. There you go.
Fair enough. Yeah. And I just want, I just want to remind everybody they can, like Ben said, they can do a drive-by pickup wine, and or we're shipping for free. We're shipping for $15 a case, or delivering locally for free.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well,
thank you guys so much. To the audience, if anyone ever has any questions, reach out, and we're happy to help. And please stay safe and healthy. And we look forward to enjoying more food and wine with everyone.
Right back at
Ben,
you.
Tracey, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We had such a great time this morning, and we've definitely learned some new stuff.
Awesome.
See you guys later. Thanks
Bye,
again.
Guys.
Bye.